reasonable person.
To me, it's one of the neatest things they did was decide to go in a different direction with portraying Thor. So I almost feel like Thor's about to ask me if I even lived, bro. My name is Jackson Crawford. I'm a specialist in the Old Norse language and Old Norse mythology, previously teaching at UCLA, UC Berkeley, and the University of Colorado Boulder, and now a full-time public educator using YouTube and my books and other means of spreading good information about these subjects that are so popular, but often subject to a lot of misinformation in the wider world. There are so many modern interpretations and retellings of these stories, and so often those interpretations and retellings are layered on top of one another. So you get so-and-so's take on this, which is influenced by so-and-so's take, which is influenced by so-and-so's take. I think if it looked too much like Marvel's Thor, it would almost be a shame. To me, it's one of the neatest things they did was decide to go in a different direction with portraying Thor. So, you know, I've seen guys who lift who look like that. Yeah, I'm not going to object to that, but to me is kind of a fun, different spin they're putting on it. But one thing I'll point out is that never in our medieval written sources do we get a comprehensive description of what any of the gods look like. The closest we get is with Odin, because Odin shows up in so many sagas of human heroes that sometimes he's described as this old man leaning on a staff with one eye, long gray hair, usually wearing blue or gray, usually with his face covered in some way by a big hat or by a cloak. So Odin is sort of described. But the other gods, at best, we get their hair color, right? And that's what we get with Thor, is he's red-haired. And that is all I could really tell you, except that I would expect him to look strong. And here he does look strong, right? I mean, the belly doesn't detract from that. And in fact, I think that it kind of makes him look more like the guys who would really ask me, do you even lift, bro? And I think also very often our depictions in popular culture of these gods lean on one another so that it would be almost a cop-out for him to look too much like, say, the Marvel Thor, because it's leaning so much on how Marvel interprets his character. I think to give a completely different spin on it and have him look rougher around the edges, a little bit more like a real-life gym rat maybe, is an interesting and compelling new take, and it doesn't contradict anything in our sources. So I think that it's kind of cool.